Good day, I am April J. Bison Llorente and the topic that I am going to discuss is about ground investigation boreholes. So, what is ground investigation? And I know that this topic was already discussed by the previous reporter and let's just have a quick review about it. So, what is ground investigation? This is a mean of determining the condition of the ground, ideally before beginning construction works. They focus specifically on intrusive geotechnical work such as trial pits and boreholes, and so differ from wider site investigations, which tend to involve the collation of more general information from the client, from desk studies, walkover surveys, and so on. So as the name implies, it is the method of investigating the ground, whether it is possible to build a, for example, two-story building if it is compatible. Thus, the ground can bear the weight of the building. Next is borehole. So, since the topic is ground investigation borehole, so what is borehole? It is a narrow hole drilled to establish the nature of sample, test, or monitor soil, bedrock, or contained fluids and gases, or for obstruction of water or minerals. Boreholes are among the most frequently used methods of exploration in engineering geology and rock-related construction. The greatest yield of geotechnical data is obtained from these boreholes when the borehole walls are investigated in addition to the core. So, from the main topic we have, what does borehole really means? It is a hole at the ground. It is as big as 1 meter or more, and it is used to investigate the ground, whether it is a solid ground, a sand, or gravel, or whatever that is underneath our feet. Next is borehole drilling method, and there are 3 groups of method. First is soil penetration. If you want to penetrate soil, which we know that soil is smooth and sometimes it's sticky. Second is rock penetration. This one is the harder one. And lastly is the required sample or core recovery penetration. So later on, we will discuss and understand what are these 3 groups of method. Light percussion drilling. Percussive drilling is the most efficient way to tear shallow but precise holes into the earth's crust. This mechanism is perfect for drilling blast holes for quarries and mines, or for concrete anchor holes in construction. For holes around 40 to 50 meter deep, the percussion drill will be your best bet, although this technique can also be used to dig boreholes as deep as 300 meter. The percussion drill works by repeatedly raising and dropping a large hammer bit into a well, each time removing a layer of sediment. The hammer is usually formed from hardened steel with carbide used on the bit. The bit will often be shaped like a chisel and, depending on the method of percussion drilling, may rotate each time it is lowered into the hole. This hammer will attach to a powered cable system that will lift and drop the bit. This technique has existed through the ages. It is used to require a hefty amount of manual labor, and yes, it is still existing. For example, making a well. And in some third world countries, it is still does. The manual predecessor to cable or rope percussion drilling works on the backs of the laborers. A team will pull a rope attached to the hammer, weighing 65 to 125 pounds, and then release, dropping the bit onto the layer of sediment below, before raising the hammer again. This technique is still used to reach water in some African nations. Manual percussion drilling uses water to create mud in the pit of the well. Next, a hollow tube that traps the mud is lowered into the well. This tube is then lifted to the surface and cleared. In air percussion drilling, the hammer will be driven by compressed air, with the rubble being cleared by the air returning to the surface. And this is the illustration of the light percussion drilling or the manual labor. And as you can see in the picture that there are persons who are pulling the rope. Window sampler. Window sampling is a low-cost drilling method commonly used for shallow geotechnical and environmental sampling. It is generally suitable for corrosive strata and some sands only. The window sampler is a relatively lightweight, compact, mobile rig on rubber tracks for easy access on and to site and is ideal for sites with restricted access or soft ground. The sampler uses 1 meter long extension rods and is driven into the ground by a percussion method using a drop hammer, obtaining 1 meter long plastic lined cores to a depth of up to 10 meter in suitable conditions, generally 6 meters, providing a full soil profile. And these are the examples of window sampler. And as you can see, that the ground is only a gravel or sand that is compacted. Trial pits and trenches. These are a means of investigating shallow ground conditions and developing an understanding of the profile of soils within the ground. They can be particularly useful where buried structures or contamination is suspected or needs further investigation. They can be excavated by hand or backhoe excavator, generally to a depth of up to 3.5 to 4.5 meters. Trial pits and trenches can be more cost-effective than the boreholes, but they do not allow for the same depth. These are the examples of trial pits. Rotary coring. Coring is one method of collecting rock and sediment samples for geological research. A coring drill bit is designed with a central opening, around which the drill bit cuts the borehole. The core samples enter this hole into a special chamber, a coring barrel. As the coring bit advances and then the sample is returned to the ship by wire. Truck-mounted rig with full rotary drive which can be applied with downward force, air, water or bentonite mud flush, pumped down inside drill string, and washes chippings back up outside. Tip of cylindrical drill bit is tungsten carbide or with diamond inserts, hence diamond drilling. Normally, double tube barrel holds full core in inner non-rotating barrel about 1 to 3 meter long. Can penetrate any soil or rock to 100 meter deep. Additionally, don't be confused about what is the meaning of rotary coring. By the definition of coring, it involves drilling with a donut-shaped bit that allows a cylinder-shaped core or of undrilled rock to rise up inside the pipe above it. Or coring is taking a cylindrical sample of a reservoir using a special drill bit and barrel. Rock probing. Rotary percussion rig with or without a hammer action, capable of rock penetration. Tricone roller or drag bits with air or water flush to remove chippings, hence open hole drilling. Truck mounted to provide rotation and downward force. Large rigs can reach 100 meter deep. No core recovery, hence destructive drilling, but much cheaper than diamond drilling because there is no need to repeatedly redraw the drill string to extract core. Penetration rate indicates strength of rock, soil or voids. Flush chippings can be examined. Flush loss also indicates cavities. And also, about the rock probing, don't be confused because as it defined, probing is for examining or observing of a sample. And these are the alternatives among drilling equipment. The first picture is an example of light percussion drilling or manual labor, since as you can see that there are persons who are working together to build the tripod, and that is under the group of soil penetration. And the second one is, since as we read the label under the picture, it is a mobile window sampler unit set up and ready to drill through a compacted gravel. So as you can see, that is compacted gravel, and that is under the group of soil penetration also. And the third one is an example of a rotary coring, since as you can see that the person is getting some samples, and of course it is under rock probing also because after getting some samples, the samples should be examined, and that is under the rock penetration, and at the same time it is under the core recovery penetration. And these are the alternative drill bits for penetration of rock. First is the diamond core bit, second tricone roller, third is the drag bit. And later on, I will be showing to you a short video clip for what are the works of these alternative drill bits. Borehole records. All boreholes must be logged as fully and comprehensively as possible to be properly cost-effective. And as you can see in this picture, under the Nottingham Drilling, that it has this client, the John Smith Construction. And they use two equipments. First is the cable percussion, which it has a 6 meters depth, and the rotary coring, which is it has 24 meters depth. Summary log, and it was happened in Derwent Road, Nottingham. Date is on 29th of February 2008. Number and GR, level, and the site coordinates. So, as you see here, it has these letters with its units. Under these columns, we can see the meaning of those letters above. D is for disturbed sample, U is for undisturbed sample, S sampling, P permeability, I point load strength, and standard penetration, R for rock quality designation, and C for core recovery. Diba, the first equipment they use is cable percussion, and it only has 6 meters depth. So that is why there is this boundary or limitation line. In the first meter, it has disturbance, which this symbol letter D. It has no K, I, R, and C, but has this, in which means blows. And it has 6 counted blows. 1.4 meter depth, and this is the graphic log. For the thickness, it has 1.4 meters, and this is the description. Mixed rubble and fill. For the 2, 3, and 4 meters, it has U symbol, which means undisturbed sample, and it has this for permeability, no point load, rock quality, core recovery, and it has 18 to 22 blows, and I think it has 4.4 to 4.5 meters depth, and this is the graphic log. 3.2 meters is the thickness, and the description is firm glacial till with cobbles and pebbles in gray sandy clay matrix. For the 5 meters, it has undisturbed sample. For the K, no I, no R, no C, and it has 34 blows, 4.6 meters depth, and this is between these two descriptions. And since they reach already almost the 6 meters depth, then they use the second equipment, which is the rotary coring. It has 54 millimeter of core. For the 7 to 10 meters, it has this permeability, 0.7 and 1.2 MPa for point load strength, and has 25 to 50% of rock quality, and it has this percent of core recovery. Greater than 50 blows, 6.9 and up is the depth. This is the graphic log and has 3.5 meters thickness, and the description is this too, since as you can see that the limitation of the line for using the rotary is still covered up this description. And so on until they reach the last part, which is the 24 meter depth by using rotary coring. And if you are going to ask if the rotary coring can only reach 24 meters depth, and it is definitely no, because it depends on the equipments they will be using and into the ground or place matters. How many boreholes and how deep? This can only be very rough guidelines. For spacing, buildings should be 10 to 30 meters apart. Road lines is 30 to 300 meters apart. And lastly is the landslides, at least 5 meters in line for profile. And for the depth, 1.5 times the foundation width. Below founding depth, plus at least one deeper control hole to 10 meter below foundation unless rockhead found. 3 to 5 meters below rockhead the probe sound rock. Probes to 3 to 10 meters to locate rock cavities. Spacing and depth may be varied considerably in light of local conditions and appropriate the size of structure. Cavernous rock may need probes at each column base. Old mine working may need probing to depths of 30 meters, and location of old shafts may need probes on 1 meter grid. And this is for the borehole costs. Drilling costs may be estimated as accumulation of first cost to supply rig onto site, second cost of setup on each new hole, third is cost per meter of hole drilled. This is the table shows approximately relative costs. On-site plus per hole plus meter. And first is window sampler. Soil is less than 8 meter deep, 425.7. Light percussion, soil is greater than 8 meter deep, 750.22. Probing in rock or soil, 750 and 7. Rotary coring in rock, 860 and 75. Trail pits, 4 meter deep, backfilled. It has 750 for 8 pits. Costs vary with number in situ test required. Probes are cheaper in close-spaced grid and in uniform rocks that do not require casing of hole. And these are the references of my topic. Thank you for the time.